Make sure you follow me on social media to get updates and ask me questions. Enjoy the video. Suppose you forgot how to run the Vue application, let me remind you. Make sure you're inside the front folder that we created in the previous video and run npm run dev. This by default will open your Vue application at port 8080, and here it is. So the project that we are going to build will be a website like eBay. Users can log in, they can browse through items that they can buy, and of course they will have a shopping cart or something like that. So to begin with, we need a navbar. Well, the problem is that we only have this assets folder inside SRC. So where do we put the view for the navbar? Now this is the real power of Vue.js. You have complete freedom regarding this. However, what most people do is to create a components folder inside SRC, and inside that folder they have the single file components of the application. So let's do that. I will create a new folder, components, and inside here I will create a single file component, navbar.view. Let's examine the app view for a moment. It looks like a component or a single file component or the .view file, however you want to say it, has a template, a script, and style. Not sure why I cannot collapse them, but you get the idea. So a single file component requires a template, a script, and a style. So let's do exactly that inside the navbar. Template, script, and style. Okay, so because this single file component here has its own template, script, and style, it can be reusable. Which means that not only to the application that we will build, but also you can take this file, move it to another project, and it will work, as long as you pass to it the data that it requires to work, and we will see that later. So this will be our navigation. So let's go on Bootstrap and get a navigation from there. So I will get this one, this example right here, the Jumbotron Nero. I will inspect this and I will get only the header. So the header is right here. So this div right here. I will get this, copy this, and go here and just paste it. Okay, so now how do we show this navigation at the first page right here, at the top? Well, we can use the app.view for this. As you can see, the main.js file is rendering the app component, and the app component is this app.view file here. So we will go there and we will delete pretty much everything. So I will start from here and I will delete everything except the div app. And of course, we also delete the data inside the export and the style. Okay, so let me save this and go back and see what we have. Totally empty, but it makes sense, since this is the starting point, the starting component of the application, and this component here is empty, so I want to include the navigation bar in this component here. How can we do that? We saw how we can create a component, which were these steps right here to include the template, the script, and the style. So now let's learn how to use this component right here, the navbar component. I will tell you the steps. So step 1 is to import the component at the place you want to use it. So we want to use it inside this app.view component, and this is where we import it. So import navbar from, and well, what is the location? The location is inside the components, and then this is the file. So /components and then navbar.view. If you're using WebStorm, it is a bit better because you get the autocomplete for the path, but in our case we are using Sublime Text and it is a bit, harder to work with, but it's still fine, I guess. So step 1, import the navbar component, done. And I did a mistake here, do not have this inside the export, but above the export, so right here. Okay, so import the navbar component, done, we have it right here. That was step 1. Step 2 now is to define the component inside this export right here. Well, if you remember how to create methods and data in Vue.js, then you don't have any problem, because for components it is pretty much the same. So you just say here components and then you define the components. So I will name this component navbar, and this will use the navbar component. So this name here is actually the name of the element, so which means that we can do something like this now. Navbar, and we need the brackets. There you are. So as you can see, this looks like the div element or like the template element, and this is what components are. They are pretty much like the HTML elements that you know. So you're creating your own HTML elements, which is very cool, of course. So I named this navbar, and this is how I can use this here, navbar. So if I had something like my navbar, then you have to say here my navbar, like this. So I want to keep this simple, and I just say navbar, and I think this is enough. So yeah, this is how you use a component. You import it, as we have done here, you define the components inside here, and then you just use it, like this. Now if you go back, you should have this result right here, which is the navbar, the navigation bar. The problem is the styling, so let's pull Bootstrap. So I will go here and say Bootstrap, I will use a CDN for this. I will get the link, I will go back to the project and open the index.html, and you just include it here. Okay, perfect, let's go back. So this is a bit better, but we can make this even better. So I want to go back to the code, and inside the app.vue here, I want to use the class container. So if we take a look now, a bit better. But we can take this even one step further. So the part that we haven't used yet is the style inside the component. So let's do exactly that. I will go to this example, and as you can see, I have the console opened. So I will go to network, I will reload the site, and I will get the CSS for the Jumbotron Nero. So I will just copy everything, go back to this, and paste it inside the style. So now we can save this, we can go back, and look at this. Exactly what we want. So this was an introduction to components. Of course, components can do a lot more, and this is the real power of Vue.js, components. But today you learned how to create a component, which are the steps right here, and how to use it inside another component, which we did it right here, inside the app.vue component. Okay, I think this is enough for this video, and we will continue with the next one.